Welcome back, comrades. Have you ever played Bloons? And no, I'm not talking about Bloons Tower Defense, I mean the original Flash Bloons. If not, then even better, because in today's devlog we're making our own version of that game, in Godot, not Scratch. Let's do a quick introduction to how the original game worked. Spoiler, it was very primitive, so we'll describe it very primitively. Ugga Booga stands, Ugga Booga aims the dart, Ugga Booga throws it at a balloon pops, Ugga Booga is happy. So yeah, the game isn't going to be ultra hard to make. No, seriously, there's nothing difficult about it. It's literally like 4 functions to implement and that's it. Alright, let's move on to the real meat of it. As always, when making new games, I start by creating the Mr. Block, Glowjectile, and most importantly, the shooter. And now, if we politely ask them to cooperate, please work. Just look at them go, everything works beautifully, the shooter fires projectiles that destroy Mr. Block. Hey, you can stop now, that's a little too many projectiles. Stop. Alright. Now let's add something of our own, so the game feels a little different from the original. I started by changing the genre into an arcade game, because, yes. Which means we needed to add a system for points, lives, time, and some custom objects. Let's get to work.
5 hours later.
After a surprisingly short amount of time, all the basic features are finished. We have a timer slowly counting down, and when it reaches 0, you lose one of your 3 lives.
Are you sure?
You start each run with 3 lives, and every failed level takes 1 away, until eventually the run comes to an end. There's also a score system, where you earn points for every level you beat. Now let's move on to something more interesting, my very original objects. Wall, it is a wall. Wall with suspicious substance, any projectile that touches it, gets launched back the other way. Exploding Mr. Block, you'll never guess what it does. Strongman Mr. Block, harder to destroy than the Ligma loser regular Mr. Block. Fuck you Mr. Block, nobody likes you here. While testing these new objects, I realized adding physics to them would be very cool, so I did that, and now, the objects can fall. But the game has one very big problem. It is absolutely empty, so yeah, we need to fix that. First, we need to figure out the theme of the game. In the original, you threw darts at balloons. In my version, you throw bricks at glass. The game will take place in a factory, but to keep things interesting, every level will have its own biome. Let's start with the main character. I do not feel like making a new one, so we're going to have to commit an unforgivable act. Glober. You're probably wondering who Glober is. Relax, Uncle Bip will explain everything. Glober is a character from my old Roblox game, Untitled Spleef game. He likes to do stupid things. So yeah, the perfect candidate. Now it's time for the glass objects. I picked 5 of them, so there wouldn't be too few, but also not too many. Cup, glass, jar, bowl, vase. Alright, what's left now? Ah, right, Glober needs something to do. As you can see, I do not need to draw anything anymore. Everything I needed landed right in my hands. Or more accurately, on the table. Time to throw everything into the game and see how it works. Honestly, it looks pretty good. There is just one problem. It still feels kind of empty. But don't worry, we already established what's going to fix that. I do not know why I'm pretending I don't know. Time for biomes. Ancient Island, a map inspired by ancient Greek ruins. Roblox Factory, a factory, inside a factory. Except instead of producing bricks, it produces boxes. Boxes that produce boxes. Yes. The biomes themselves are cool, but they still feel a little empty. So I decided to add small visual decorations to each of them. And now, I think that is everything I wanted to do.
Tung 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 bip. Ce ne è della UI, che ne è degli effetti, ne hai deluso con il tuo comportamento privo di pensiero?
Forgive me, almighty Triple T. It will never happen again, I swear. The first thing the player sees when entering the game is this beautiful interface. And honestly, I don't think leaving it like this is the best idea. Let's start with the basics, which means designing one universal texture for all buttons and windows. Since the game takes place in a factory, the whole design will be inspired by that. After a bit of experimenting, we have a finished texture. In my opinion, it looks very clean, but the texture alone isn't enough. It actually needs somewhere to be used. So we start upgrading the HUD by adding a nicer new font, along with our new windows. And instantly, the HUD looks way better. Now it's time for the first thing the player will actually see, the main menu. We add two epic buttons, Start and Options. In the corner of the screen lands a very ugly game logo, then we throw in a background that vaguely suggests the game takes place in a factory. And finally, a waving Glober standing on a podium, just to add something unique. And now, a fun idea for the death screen. Since Glober works in a factory, instead of the classic game over, he just gets fired. So we make a short animation of Glober falling from the sky, add a few useful bits of information, and death screen is done. The settings screen is much simpler. It's basically just a window with text, so we didn't suffer too much making it. We'll get to the actual settings in the next section. And just like that, I can proudly say the game's UI is finished. Finally, time for one of my favorite parts of game development, adding all the small details that make a game start to feel more professional. Because as you can probably tell right now, this game desperately needed that. Let's start with the objects. Whenever they broke, they just left behind a sad empty void. So to fix that, we had to use some highly advanced techniques such as sound effects, visual effects, and even more advanced screen shake. But that's still not enough. We can also add one tiny feature that instantly transforms this game into a true AAA experience. Breaking animations. See? It's such a big difference that I have to show you a before and after comparison. And with that same logic, let's add these effects to every object we've made in this devlog. Now let's jump back to the interface for a second. Visually, it already looks pretty good, but it's still missing those smaller touches. Things like button click animations, and let's also add smooth transitions between scenes, because those are just satisfying. The last thing we still needed was music. And this is the part where I should probably call my buddy on Discord. But then you would be watching this video in 2027. So instead, we must lower ourselves to finding some music. For free. And just like that, we finished every detail I originally planned to add. Wait, I forgot one thing. Working settings. So now you can change the volume of sound effects and music. And I also added one secret setting that you'll have to discover for yourselves to see what it does. And now, we have finally finished everything I planned for this game. In today's devlog, we finished game that includes throwing bricks at glass. Really smooth and satisfying graphics and animations. Glober. Amazing visual effects. Working settings. Glober. I'm really happy with how this turned out, because it's my first fully completed game that you can literally play like now. And honestly, while making this video I ended up really liking the game myself, so if you want any updates, let me know in the comments. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, seriously, you make my day. If you want to see more stuff like this, you can leave like and sub with notifications. On my amazing Twitter I also post cool things like this epic image I drew myself, or this mysterious teaser for my secret game, so it's worth checking out. See you in the next something. I still don't know what kind of video I'll make next. And no, this is still not Deltarune Framework Part 2 by the way. Okay, bye. Mr. Block, what's up my guy? How have you been? We haven't seen each other in a long time. I always respected you as a 4-time homie, and secretly I'll tell you that you were the best out of those 3 objects. Whoa, we don't have to go down the path of violence, like they always say. Violence is never the answer except when